Hello and welcome to Liminal Tarot for this week via Transition Life Coaching in conjunction with Katonia.net. I'm Breach Burke, and this is the reading for the week of August 21st to August 27th, 2022. Okay, so we have a number of things here. What we're looking at this week, there's some new beginnings happening here, and there's still a lot of shakiness and uncertainty surrounding the new space that you're actually moving into. So let's go over these section by section. Here I'm using the Tarot Classic deck, and I also have my Essential Oil Oracle. I have Moonology. I have the Dark Goddess Oracle. I have something called the Gateway Oracle, which I don't think I've used here before. And then I have, of course, our Wisdom of the Tao, plus a Norse rune. So let's start with tarot. So we have the Seven of Cups with the Page of Cups and the Nine of Swords. Okay, so there's definitely a lot of worry here. Nine of Swords often has to do with things that we're afraid of that have not come to fruition, but that we're speculating about. You know, what if this happens? What if that happens, right? And Page of Cups suggests being at a very fragile kind of emotional beginning. It connects in very much with intuition, which we see over here. But there's this idea of having to be in touch with one's feelings, and there may be an aspect of it that's new. In fact, with Seven of Cups, there may even be a delusional or deceptive aspect, which is interesting because we have deception up here with Medea. On the other hand, Seven of Cups sometimes also indicates just having the imagination to think outside the box and be open to new possibilities. And I feel like it's like there is a sense, there's a lot of self-doubt here. There's a lot of newness and a lot of self-doubt that we're seeing in this particular reading. So this may be a week when you are questioning yourself, questioning your motives, questioning the things that you're doing. But there's a lot. There's also a lot to think about here. So if we look at the Essential Oil Oracle, we have the trigger statement here is it's the Amplify. I can't get anything right. It's the Magnolia Oil. It says, I'm in divine time. It says, harness your loving energy and watch as one miracle after the other it unfolds after the other. So yeah, so there's this idea that that we're worried about things that cannot possibly happen for us, but this is assuring you that well, things could possibly happen for you. Don't limit your imagination, but this is a new space to be in. Here we have the end of a tough cycle approaches in Moonology. That's full moon in Capricorn, and this suggests that you know, you've gone through a lot of the work, and yeah, maybe things are going to be, you know, better. Things are going to manifest. But we have, again, Capricorn, I think, is key here, because there's a lot of Capricorn energy associated with this. The idea of being realistic, of doubting oneself, of saying, I don't have the evidence for this. But there may be something felt, and feelings, I think, are the newness of feelings, I feel, are more important than our sense of well, this, I don't think this makes sense, or I don't have evidence that this is going to be something in a certain period of time, or what have you. Now the Medea card is interesting because it says deception, but the actual meaning of this card has to do with you know, it's kind of with not having the wool pulled over your eyes, being able to see things for what they really are. So yeah, so there's that balance to strike between what is, you want to keep your feet on the ground and you want to be real, but at the same time, you know, don't necessarily discount everything that you have imagined, or edit everything that you are feeling here. I mean, this is the Manifesting Dreams card, and this is really about harvest. This is saying, okay, you've planted seeds and something is coming to fruition here, even if you don't quite see it yet. There's this thing. And we have the Intuition card over here. We have Dog. And this is, you have a clear vision of things to come. Use that sense of future to direct your current path. Trust instinct and share the message from your heart with your circle of friends. Yeah, Dog has to do with loyalty. It has to do with old souls. And it suggests that, you know, what your gut is telling you is something that you can rely upon. Don't second guess yourself. There's... but there may be things that, again, because we're so used to a certain cycle of tried and true, that we just think, you know, doing anything different, you know, in some ways it seems like it can't be possible, you know. And we have Algi's here, the Rune of Protection. And the rune of protection, the main message of this rune is control of the emotions, okay? Not allowing our feelings to get out of hand. You need to adjust to both the highs and the lows of things. There are going to be these moments where you feel like you are not able to do certain things, or where, you're going to have this doubt, but don't necessarily want to let it consume you. This promises that, yeah, okay, things have been tough, and maybe you've met some obstacles, and maybe you feel like, oh, I don't see this ever coming around, but that's going to come to an end. Okay, that's not the way things are going to be. So, this is just really, there's really a strong sense here of moving forward to something new. There's a certain amount of self-doubt because there's that part of us that thinks it's more realistic and more logical, that says, oh, but I don't see the return on investment here. I don't see the outcome. And it's like, kind of say, that's fine. Go with your intuition. Don't listen to that part of you that wants to, to use the SNL phrase, be a Debbie Downer. You don't want to put a damper on everything you're doing. It's okay to dream a little bit. But, this may be a new thing for you. We're not in a culture that allows for dreaming big and thinking outside the box. I do feel like more people do that now, which I think is very encouraging. People do try to look at things in a very different way and not be limited by past or traditional concepts of things. But nonetheless, that vestigial worry is still there, and it still can affect you, and it still has very, very real effects in the world. So don't, understand that things are manifesting, that the end of this cycle is approaching. Don't let anybody screw with you at this time. I mean, Medea is kind of, don't let someone might be trying to pull the wool over your eyes. Don't let them do it. So essentially it's keep yourself in check. And then when we have the balance statement, you're in divine time. So there's the idea that, trying to look at things in the normal, linear, what are my objectives in X number of months or years kinds of mindset may not be really helpful right now. You're much better to go and allow yourself to move into a space that's outside of this Capricorn energy. That's not just yes, there's a certain amount of grounding that you need, but you don't want to be, you don't want to do it to the point that you don't allow yourself any kind of thinking outside the box, because that very well may be where you belong and where you're going to flourish. But of course, yeah, do it with an eye towards not going too far over the edge. But there may be a lot that you're worried about this week that is not actually going to manifest. It's just more a condition of the analytical mind that wants to see evidence, outcomes, and proof, long before you're able to actually have any of those things. So that's my reading for this week. I hope you have a wonderful last week of August, and I'll see you in the next video.